Right then, so question 8, we have got some standard form questions. Write 7.97 times 10 to the minus 6 as an ordinary number for part A. Part B, work out the value of two numbers written in standard form. They're being divided, so we're going to divide those two numbers, give your answer in standard form. Take a couple of minutes, pause the video, have a go at those. I'll come back in a second with the solution. Okay, right then, so first part, 7.97 times 10 to the minus 6. The minus 6 means we are going to be dividing this 7.97 by 10 6 times. Alright, we're dividing this number here by 10 6 times. Generally, students like to move the decimal place 6 places to the left. If you do that, you'll end up with this answer here. And a way of checking that that's correct is for the negative ones, only the negative ones, you can count the zeros. So there's a minus 6 there, so we should have 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that looks good. If you need a bit further explanation, the decimal point started its life between the 7 and the 9. So it started here, and it's moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places to the left because we were dividing by 10 6 times. The second question is a bit more tricky, especially as it's a non-calculator question. We have got to divide these two standard form numbers, and you deal with them in a particular way. So you're going to sort out the 2.52 divided by the 4 separately, and we're going to do the indices part separately. So we're going to do 10 to the 5 divided by 10 to the minus 3 separately. Okay, so we'll set it out like this. We'll sort the numbers out first, and then we'll sort the powers out second. Alright, so these are the two sums that we're going to do separately. The first one, 2.52 divided by 4. A good way of dividing by 4 is to half it twice. That's a common method. I like the bus stop method because you can use it for any division on a non-calculator paper. Let me talk you through it very quickly. 4 divided by 2 is the first part that you would do. 4 divided by 2. Well, 4 doesn't go into 2, so you can write 0 up here. If it doesn't go in, you're going to pass this 2 over to the 5. So now you've got 25 written here. So 4 into 25 goes 6 times. Alright, because it goes to 24. So 4 6s are 24. We have 1 left over, and I haven't written the 1 in, but there should be a 1 that's been passed over to the 2. So that should be 4 into 12 next, which would then give you the 3. Okay, so that's that part sorted out, and you can write down your answer as 0.63. You need to line up your decimal points when you're doing that, so you make sure that the decimal is in the right place. Okay, so it's very important to keep your columns aligned. The powers part, you need to remember that you're doing 10 to the 5 divided by 10 to the minus 3. And when you divide, you are subtracting. So this acts as like a subtraction sign for the powers. This divide here is like a minus sign for your powers. So it's 5 minus minus 3. And two minuses together make a plus. So it's actually 5 plus 3, which gives you 10 to the 8. Now, the answer is supposed to be in standard form, and some students will leave their answer like this and will drop a mark. This is not standard form because this number here is not between 1 and 10. Okay, so this needs to be between 1 and 10. The way to make it between 1 and 10 is we're going to times it by 10, alright, to make it 6.3. We're going to times this by 10 to make it 6.3. Where's that 10 going to come from? Well, we're going to steal one from our 8 tens that we have lined up here. So we're going to use one of these 10s to make that 6.3, and that means we'll only have 7 left once we've used up one. So the final answer would be 6.3 times 10 to the 7, and that would give us both the marks. Looking at the mark scheme, 1 mark for getting the first part right. Okay, pretty straightforward. The second mark is quite interesting. You get the first mark just for sorting out the powers. So just by doing this part here, picks up the first mark, sorting out the this part here to get 10 to the 8. And then the second mark comes from adjusting your final solution to make it a number in standard form. So the mark is given for the correct answer only in standard form. So you have to get it right and also obviously adjust it correctly. Okay, hope that's useful. How do students get on with this question? So when it was done in the summer of 2017, 44.5% of people got nothing on the second part. So this part here, nothing for almost 45% of students. So only 22% got full marks. So this is a good question to know how to do because it will push you ahead of other students.